We did it, my Beater Bros. Week 8 NFL game picks and predictions. We went officially 11-3 last week. And yes, that calls for excitement because that digs us out of a hole we've been digging ourselves over the first few weeks. Thankfully, we had some favorable matchups to help us bounce back. And hopefully it goes that way again this week. We got some interesting games on the slate here, probably highlighted by divisional matchups like the Browns Steelers, where they tied last time. Matchups like the Eagles and Jaguars, who are both on the downward trend. Can one of these teams get right? Other matchups to watch for me really would be Colts Raiders. Um, can the Colts get another W and try to build some momentum against a Raiders team that looks like it's in rebuild mode? And Packers Rams looks to be promising. So does Saints Vikings. And Patriots Bills, even though the Patriots, or Tom Brady I should say, has a 28-3 record against the Bills over the last over his career, they're always usually entertaining games to watch. We start off with the Dolphins at the Texans. Thursday night football, so tonight. I'm going with the Texans at home in this one. Logically speaking, I like the run game against the Dolphins' still banged up defensive line. Advantage probably would be Dolphins secondary here normally, but you're going up against DeAndre Hopkins, one of the best wide receivers in the league, and the second and third receivers for the Texans also are very capable as well. You got extremely mobile quarterback, and I just believe that Jadeveon Clowney and J.J. Watt will bring too much pressure for Brock Osweiler. When Osweiler gets pressured too much, he's just not that good. Well, he's not that good anyway, but he makes more mental errors after getting pressured. So I think this should swing in the Texans' favor. I apologize for the roughness in my voice. I am battling a sickness, so I'm trying to just get through this. And then you have the Eagles at the Jaguars. Blake Bortles is Blake Bortles, so I'm picking the Eagles to win. Uh, if the Eagles dig in another 17-0 lead, I don't think Blake Bortles is gonna get it back. Uh, Matchup to watch here would probably be, can the Eagles revolving door running back, and by that I mean like a running back by committee kind of thing, be enough to help them get over the Jaguars defense? Because this game could very well be the game to get the Jaguars defense back on track. Broncos Chiefs, gotta go Chiefs here. Broncos, their defense is solid. They could create a lot of pressure on Patrick Mahomes, but I don't think that Broncos offense is necessarily that scary, so I can't really pick them. Then you got Browns Steelers. This one's interesting. Steelers coming off a bye. I'm going to pick them. Obviously, we all know Cleveland got its first non-loss in a while against the Pittsburgh Steelers this year in a tie game. I don't think it's necessarily going to go that way this time. I think the Steelers defense is in more of a rhythm, and seeing Baker Mayfield play and having some game tape on them, I think the Steelers get a win. It could be very, very close though. And then you have Redskins Giants. I'm gonna go Redskins here. The Giants do have the caliber of talent on the offense to win this one, with obviously Odell Beckham, Sterling Shepard, Saquon Barkley, and stuff like that. But that Redskins defensive line against that Giants offensive line is going to be critically important. If the Giants can't hold up like they normally cannot hold up, then they are boned. And they look like they're in rebuild mode with all these trades, trading away Harrison on the defensive line. Trading away Harrison on the defensive line, one of the best run-stopping defensive tackle nose tackles in the league. When you got to face Adrian Peterson, I gotta pick Redskins in this one. And you got Seahawks Lions. Russell Wilson, capable of a lot of things. How much will they play Damon Harrison after the trade with the Giants? As I just stated with the game before, I do not know, but I believe it will help in the interior line at least. And I think Harrison can be can be capable of, if properly coached, to at least work in the pass rush, so he's not just in there on obvious run plays, because that does limit his ability. Um, is Patricia the right coach for that? I'm not sure. I like the receivers of the Lions, and I'd especially Kerryon Johnson. I love Johnson in this matchup. I'm probably going to start him in fantasy this week. Hopefully he does me good. And I think Matt Stafford should have a good game. Russell could also have a good game here, but I just think the Lions defense probably edges them out, gets them the victory here. Should be a close one, should be a tough one. And then you got Buccaneers, Bengals. I really shouldn't, but I'm going to ride Bengals here. They had apparently a player meeting to try to get right what they're doing wrong. I love Tyler Boyd. I do. I love Boyd and Green against Mike Evans and Deshaun Jackson. That sounds like a fun matchup to watch. But lately, watching the Bengals, they've been making a lot of mental mistakes. So hopefully they don't keep doing that. Because one thing that irritates me the most about losing is not the fact of just losing playing as day. It's when you lose because you shoot yourself in the foot. When you lose because of mental mistakes. That's when it starts to burn. That's when it hurts. Because let's say if you're outplayed, just completely outdone, and you lose, you're like, okay, we lost to the better team. But if you're the better team and you shoot yourself in the foot and you lose that way, it adds an extra sting to it. So I'm going to pick the Bengals at home. This is one of their matchups they're going to have to win if they want to make the playoffs. And yes, they're in that mode already. They started really good this season. But if you look at how the Chargers are doing, the Bengals are doing, and the Steelers are doing as of late, the Bengals on the outside looking in. The Chargers and Steelers could end up with really good records at this point, and the wild cards. The Bengals are stuck in a three-team division race right now. If they were possibly in the AFC South, they'd have a better chance of getting a playoff spot because they could get the division easier than the wild card. So this game must win. Jets, Bears. I think the Bears. When I think about this one, I think about the recent trade the Jets made to acquire a wide receiver, which is sign Rashard Matthews. And as much as I love that move, he's obviously not going to have 100% of the playbook. He is a really good player. But I like the Bears. I like Khalil Mack to be healthier in this one than he was against the Patriots. I like the chance for the Bears defense, especially with Bilal Powell going on IR. Hopefully he gets healthy soon. I love watching Bilal Powell play. Hopefully that opens up the opportunity for the Bears to get back on track because they're not facing a strong opponent at 100%. The Jets defense does prepare matchup problems for Mitch Trubisky and the Bears offense, but the Jets offense not being 100% does give the Bears probably their best chance to get back on track. A loss here, realistically, with how the Vikings, Packers, and Lions are doing, could shift them completely out of the NFC North race. In just a matter of 3 weeks, going from first to out is just horrendous. And yeah, the Ravens at the Panthers. Two teams who, at the beginning of the games last week, looked like they were both going to lose. Ravens almost tied the game, missed an extra point. Obviously, everyone can blame Justin Tucker if they want, but missed points happen, missed extra points happen, missed field goals happen, missed plays happen. Obviously, it would have been avoidable if the Ravens were in the lead in the first place. Panthers came back from 17-0 against the Eagles to win it. The Ravens defense is dangerous, very, very dangerous. I'm going to pick the Ravens to win this one. And yeah, it's kind of odd for me to pick the Ravens against the Panthers, especially when Cam Newton's playing like almost like MVP Cam Newton. He's not quite at the MVP Cam Newton level right now. But that, although the Ravens offense always concerns me because I never trust Joe Flacco, seeing Lamar Jackson score his first touchdown gives me some positive feeling that maybe their plans with him could actually work. Now, the Ravens defense being one of the top defenses in the league, having just played Drew Brees and the Saints, should be able to handle the Panthers passing game well enough to put them in place to get the victory. And yeah, the Colts Raiders, picking the Colts in this one. I like Andrew Luck. I don't know if the Colts will be making any trades before the trade deadline. It would be interesting, definitely, to see. They need a little bit of defensive help, a little bit of offensive help, and sad thing is, even though they don't have a great record, they're still in contention for their division. So maybe they are in a position to make some trades and try to actually go for a division title, which I never thought at the beginning of the year they would be in that position. But it should be fun. Got a few days left. And you got 49ers, Cardinals, Packers, Rams. I'm going to pick the Rams in this one at home. Um, I think the difference maker here isn't going to necessarily be the Rams offense. I think it's going to be the Rams run defense. If the Green Bay Packers can somehow squeak out enough momentum in the run game, get enough first downs, chain moving, diversion from the pass game through the rush offense, I think it could expose the Rams pass defense a little bit more. And when you have Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, it's an upset waiting to happen. Rams offense is obviously their key to winning. Todd Gurley's probably the best back in the league right now. So if Todd Gurley can have a Todd Gurley game, Rams are gonna win. Packers could upset them though. It should be a fun one to watch. And yeah, hopefully it's on national TV. I'm looking at these 3-4 o'clock games, and so help me God, if Colts Raiders is the one on TV or the 49ers Cardinals, I'm gonna throw a goddamn fit. Because when you have a matchup like the Packers and the Rams, you can't just leave it off national TV. You can't. Then you got the Saints Vikings. This one's very, very interesting. It's actually really hard to pick because the strengths of each team kind of coincide with each other. There are major concerns, at least with Anthony Barr not being able to tackle for shit on certain plays through certain games. I mean, he's a great player, but he's been making more mental mistakes this year. I like Latavius Murray and the Vikings offense, but I also like the Saints offense in this one as well. I think the difference maker here is going to be I believe Xavier Woods was his name, or Xavier Rhodes for the Vikings. I believe he went down with injury. If I got the name wrong, it's their corner. I apologize. I'm gonna pick the Saints to win. This is their perfect opportunity to try to grab a hold of that second NFC spot, because we're about halfway through the season, so playoff spots are gonna start like working themselves out pretty soon. So if the Saints can beat the Vikings, that puts them in a good opportunity to earn the second seed, and it also puts them in a great opportunity to take advantage the moment the Rams slip up. Should be a good game. Then you have Patriots, Bills. I'm picking the Patriots in this one. I have no idea if Gronkowski's going to play, but I believe in Josh Gordon enough and Julian Edelman enough to pick the Patriots over a guy who's just playing his second week with the Bills. If the Bills are to win, it's going to be defensively. They're going to probably need a couple defensive scores. I'm not saying there's no chance the Bills can win, but there is definitely a chance. But I think it's going to be through their defense. And then you have 49ers Cardinals, the game that I tried to avoid. But I can't do weekly picks and leave any games out. That's just bullshit. 49ers Cardinals. Cardinals are keeping Patrick Peterson, which is very interesting indeed. The 49ers look kind of like shit the last few weeks. Both these teams got absolutely booty stomped last week. Neither team has any momentum whatsoever. This one's hard to pick now that I think about it. I'm gonna go with the better running back, which means going with David Johnson and the Cardinals. Am I going to regret this? Most likely, but that's with the territory. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe if you are new for amazing NFL commentary every week when I pick through games. I'm kidding. I will admit I suck. No, I'm suck. I'm getting better though, so bear with me, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace.